Some revelations aren't whispered, they scream. And when Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1 ended, the world didn't just gasp, it shattered a theory fans had held on to for years. Will Byers, the boy who disappeared into the Upside Down, the quiet, often overlooked member of the Hawkins gang, suddenly holds a power no one saw coming. A power that rivals Vecna himself. Yes, Will Byers can now tap into the very abilities of the darkness that once tormented him. He can manipulate the hive mind, command creatures, and even touch the edges of the Upside Down in ways that defy everything we thought we knew about him. But here's the question that lingers in the shadows. How did Will, a boy defined by vulnerability, suddenly inherit such unimaginable power? And even more chilling, could this newfound connection ultimately cost him his life? Tonight, we're diving deep, from the origins of Will's connection to Vecna, to the terrifying breadth of his abilities, to the potential dangers that loom over him in the coming finale. If you think Will was just the quiet, invisible member of the group, think again. By the end of this video, you'll never see Hawkins or Will Byers the same way again. The origin of Will's connection. Let's rewind. Will's story doesn't start with Season 5. It starts the night he vanished on November 6, 1983. That moment wasn't just an abduction, it was the start of a bond between him and the Upside Down that would grow stronger, darker, and more unpredictable with each passing season. From his first encounter with Vecna, Will was always more than a survivor. Even when the world ignored him, even when Hawkins considered him weak, he was absorbing, observing, and unknowingly syncing with the hive mind. A network of creatures, signals, and shadows connecting every corner of the Upside Down. Season 2 already hinted at this. Remember the now moments, the echoes of memories he could sense while the Upside Down burned? Will was already a conduit, a receiver, but no one realized the magnitude, not even him. Vecna's perception. Vecna, the master manipulator, initially saw Will as fragile, a perfect vessel to bend, control, and exploit. He underestimated him, thinking Will's mind could be reshaped and his spirit broken. But what Vecna didn't anticipate is the fire he unknowingly lit within Will, a latent connection that when triggered could mirror Vecna's own formidable powers. Think about it. While others relied on brute force or supernatural dominance, Will's strength comes from something even Vecna can't fully grasp. Empathy. Will's powers are entwined with his love, his fear for friends, and his determination to protect the people he cares about. This isn't just magic or telekinesis, it's an emotional resonance amplified through the hive mind, creating a conduit that makes him far more dangerous than anyone anticipated. Proximity and power. The Duffer Brothers have explained that Will's abilities are proximity-based. He doesn't inherently carry the raw energy like Eleven or Vecna. Instead, he taps into the hive mind, a collective consciousness of the Upside Down. It's almost as if he borrows the power of what's already there, reshaping it through his own intent. This explains why, when Will faced the Demogorgons and other horrors in Hawkins, he could freeze, manipulate, and control them, but only when the connection was strong. It's not about what he sees directly. It's about what the hive mind allows him to influence. Have you ever noticed how his eyes frost over when he connects fully? That's a visual representation of the hive mind bending to his will. And it's terrifying, because it's not just a power, it's a signal to Vecna that his underestimated vessel may now be his equal. The trigger, love and survival. So how did Will finally unleash these abilities? Not by accident, not through training or circumstance alone. It was the primal, unmistakable force of fear and love. When the people he cherished were threatened, something inside him snapped into alignment. Robin's words echoed through him, "Find purpose, find yourself." And in that moment, Will realized his powers weren't about being strong in the conventional sense. They were about protecting, about connecting, and about standing against the darkness that had haunted him for decades. This is what makes his power deeply emotional. It isn't just a weapon. It's a reflection of who Will Byers has been all along. Overlooked, misunderstood, yet unbreakably determined. The scope of Will's powers. Here's where it gets truly chilling. Will can now do almost everything Vecna can. Command the Demogorgons, Demodogs, and other upside-down creatures. manipulate objects, environments, even elements connected to the hive mind. Think of it as a form of telekinesis. Read memories and potentially influence minds, linking the upside down and the real world simultaneously. Imagine this, a boy who once ran screaming from monsters, now standing as their master, turning the tools of terror into instruments of survival. But here's the tension. Will's powers are tied to his connection to the upside down. If the hive mind suffers, Will suffers. If Vecna falls, Will's life may be imperiled. His powers, while breathtaking, carry an inherent danger. Now here's the question you need to ponder. Could Will's power ultimately be the thing that kills him? Or could it be the very thing that saves Hawkins and ends Vecna once and for all? Comment below what you think, and let's see who predicts the shocking truth correctly. And while you're thinking, imagine the irony. Will Byers, the quiet, overlooked kid, may become the linchpin of the entire Stranger Things universe.
Will's powers in action. Let's break down what we actually saw Will do in Season 5, Volume 1, because this isn't a subtle transformation. This is a complete narrative shift. Will Byers, the boy who hid in closets, who often felt like an outsider in his own life, now wields a power that can freeze entire corridors in Hawkins in seconds. His connection to the hive mind allows him to manipulate creatures with precision. The Demogorgons, frozen mid-strike. Demodogs completely immobilized. Even smaller elements, like the dust or particles of the Upside Down infiltrating their real world, bend subtly to his will. It's almost terrifying to watch. Not because of raw violence, but because Will's power comes from knowledge and connection. He doesn't need brute force. He's a tactician of the supernatural, channeling something far greater than himself. And here's the eerie part. The same frost in his eyes that signals his connection mirrors Vecna's own signature when he taps fully into the hive mind. Could it be that Will isn't just mimicking Vecna, but reaching a level where he could surpass him? It's a question that lingers in every frame of the finale. The hive mind connection. We need to understand the mechanics here. Will's abilities aren't internal, they're relational. The hive mind is essentially the Upside Down's nervous system. It's a network of consciousness, creatures, and environmental signals. Will acts as an antenna, a receiver, and an amplifier all at once. When he's near, the hive mind responds. When he's distant, the effect diminishes. This means Will's powers aren't just about strength or aggression, they're about proximity, empathy, and understanding the rhythm of the Upside Down. Think of it like a radio. Will doesn't generate the signal, he amplifies it. And unlike Vecna, who controls the hive mind through fear and